We've all seen the tragedies. Stick horse rodeos, cowboy parties. Every day, horses all across the country wake up and face a decision. Either starve themselves or risk complete ostracization.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this.
How long have you been concerned with eating in your weight?
Ever since I was a foal. I knew, even when I was young, maybe 2 or 3 years old, I wanted to grow up and be like the horses I saw in fashion magazines. I wanted to be glamorous. I was very self-conscious, and I thought people would like me if I was skinny.
What is your opinion on recent movements in the horse fashion industry to include models that maybe aren't quite as skinny as ones used in the past?
That's fine for them, but we don't do that. We don't allow fat horses on our stages.
Would you maybe consider adding a line of high fashion wear for horses with larger frames?
Would you consider making headphones for deaf people? I don't think so, because the idea doesn't make sense.
So you don't see any need for fashion to accommodate other body types?
No. The fat horses can go to Walmart, they can go to Target, they can go to H-E-B. There's a reason Clydesdales work for Budweiser and not for Armani.
Would you say it's the fashion industry and the media that caused you to develop an eating disorder?
I would say they had an effect, but they're not the only ones to blame. A lot of it is just the pressures of society on horses, especially females, to be thin. I mean, you always hear the phrase, hung like a horse, and that's created its own problems amongst colts. But in the horse community, there's the phrase skinny as a mare or thin like a mare, based on the idea that females should always be skinny and that a fat mare is just, well, useless.
Talk about if you noticed any changes in her lifestyle?
Well, it was slow. It was sort of imperceptible. It's not like you walked out one day.
Actually, I could tell right when the media started focusing on horses. I think the big start of it was the Seabiscuit movie and all the photo spreads on that horse, the movie trailers, the magazines, and then of course Sports Illustrated didn't help. You know, they've got the swimsuit edition. They have centerfolds of horses, and all of a sudden she's not eating. Her food is being pushed away. She's spending hours in the bathroom, and all of a sudden things are missing from my medicine cabinet. So that is when I think she began this horrible slide and totally rejecting everything we've ever done.
A lot of owners have accused your magazine of influencing their horses to develop anorexia or other eating disorders. What would be your response to those owners?
Well, honestly, I think those owners need to look in their own backyard first. Before they start accusing the media and magazines of influencing their horses, maybe they better see how their horse rearing skills are really affecting them. I mean, I've seen on the internet some of these pro-anorexic horse communities talking about combating oat cravings, and there's these pictures of horses. They look like they're already halfway to the glue factory. It's absurd.
So you don't believe that your magazine is directly responsible for any horse eating disorders?
Absolutely not.
My mom never wanted to have kids. She did dressage and she was a horse model later in her life. It wasn't her idea to have kids. But when you're in heat, you're in heat, you know? So when she had me and saw that I was a little on the plumper side, she would always say, "Why can't you be skinny like me?" Because I think she was frustrated that I stopped her from doing the things she loved. I thought if I could be skinny, it would make her happy, and that's all I wanted, just to make her happy. I'm sorry, do you have a tissue?
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
If you saw Buttercup today, what would you say to her?
I would say, get a life, girl. Remember all that we have done for you? Come on back. Let's knock some sense into you and get you on the road to better horse health.
I would just tell her that we still love her and we know that there's a sweet horse in there, and I think if we could be patient with her and show her how much
I
we
would
love
tell
her.
her she has got to make up her mind. Does she want a good life, or does she want to be with the trash that she is living with right now? That is not the road to stardom.
Perhaps it wasn't the media that was pushing horses to develop harmful body issues, but the owners themselves. A quick search on the internet reveals countless horrific scenes similar to this. But are owners and children really to blame for horse anorexia?
We like skinny horses!
Yes. Yes, they are. Fortunately, some owners are taking the welfare of horses into their own hands. New Pastures is a rehab center for horses getting over their eating disorders. Horses that stay here are taught appropriate body images, healthy eating habits, and most importantly, self-confidence. John Good has been running the center for over 12 years now and is an expert on the signs of healthy horses.
If they don't have proper nutrition, you'll start to see heavy cracks in the hoof wall, which then leads to an abscess.
Each day, John checks under their hooves to make sure none of the horses have been making themselves vomit.
So you used to be a stick horse?
Yes, I did.
Your condition is amazing. Can you talk about your recovery process?
Yes, gladly. I was worried at first that I couldn't do it. I couldn't make the change, but I joined New Pastures and I was a little tentative, but it helped me so much. The process, it was easy. I battled anorexia for the majority of my life, and I thought the change would be impossible, but it was so simple. Weight is not a factor for me anymore, thanks to New Pastures' work on me. I am 380 pounds.
Wow. And how much did you weigh before you went to New Pastures?
8 pounds. All my inhibitions are gone now, all the insecurities, and what's left is a life to be lived. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna find a beautiful mare, have some young coals, and I'm gonna raise them up to have the childhood that I deserved and that they should have. It's hard. I know, I've been there, but it's not impossible. There are people out there who can help you, and you need to find that help, because I know that pain is so real and it can be changed. You have the power within you to change. Find it.
Every second, 3.2 horses die of anorexia, but there is hope. Join me and speak out against this silent killer, so that one day Buttercup and Princess and every other horse out there will know that they are loved.